What if I told you that there are keywords out there right now that are getting thousands of searches a month and barely anyone's competing for them? I'm Alex, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how to find low competition, high traffic keywords using Semrush, even if your site is brand new and has no authority. This tutorial is for beginners, bloggers, or business owners who are trying to get traffic without having to fight that impossible SEO battle. And by the end of this video, you'll figure out how to uncover hidden keywords, save your keywords list, and actually start creating content that ranks. So let's get started. If your site is brand new or doesn't have that many backlinks, going after big name keywords is a losing game. You'll spend months writing, optimizing, and waiting just to get beat out by bigger websites. But when you focus on low competition keywords, you can rank faster, get traffic with less effort, build authority and momentum, and reach your ideal audience without spending a dime on ads. The trick is knowing how to find those keywords and how to tell the good ones from the junk, and that's where Semrush comes in. So what is Semrush and how can it actually help you? Semrush is an all-in-one digital marketing platform that helps you do things like analyze your competitors, track your rankings, audit your site, and most importantly for today, find powerful keywords. Inside Semrush is a tool called the Keyword Magic Tool, and this is your secret weapon for discovering thousands of keywords in just a couple of clicks. You type in one simple phrase and it shows you all the related search terms that people are typing in. The best part about it is it shows you how many people are actually searching for it and how hard it is to rank for that keyword. All right, so let me stop talking and show you how to actually use it. If you don't already have Semrush, you'll want to create an account so you can actually follow along with this tutorial. They're actually running a super cool 14-day free trial right now. I've dropped our link for that in the description so you guys can actually follow along click by click throughout this walkthrough. So once you land on this page, when you log in, you're going to go to the left-hand side and you're going to hover right over SEO. You're going to scroll down to where it says keyword research. And right here is where you're going to find the keyword magic tool. So go ahead and press that. All right. So now this is the fun part. This is where the fun really begins. You're going to enter what's called a seed keyword right here inside of the search bar. So if you're a fitness coach, you could put something like fitness prep. If you're a website designer, you could put something like Canva templates. Or if you're somebody who's a health coach, you can put something like gut health. So let's just go ahead and go with that last one and put gut health into this keyword search bar. All right, once you go ahead and enter in your keyword, you can press search. So as you can see, once you press search, Semrush will generate thousands of keywords for you related to that seed keyword that you went ahead and inputted. On the left-hand side, you're going to go ahead and see keywords grouped into topics, okay? And then if you look right here in the center or in the middle, you're going to see a full list of all the keywords. So if you're looking for a specific group or specific topic, go ahead and take a look through here. So maybe you're looking for food, you're going to go ahead and look at the food group. If you're looking for probiotics, you can go ahead and look at the probiotics group. But the main section where all the keywords are is going to be right here in the middle. So this is an already solid list, but what we want to do is we want to refine it, especially if you're somebody with a new website or somebody who doesn't have any authority on your website. So let me show you exactly how to refine this. Okay, so let me break down what exactly is on this page. Some of these keywords might have high search volume, but they're going to be super difficult to actually rank for. And that also goes vice versa. Others may be super easy to rank for, but nobody's searching for them. You can see the total volume of people looking for this search term right here. Okay, so this is the volume of people actually typing the search word in and looking for it. And this is how difficult it actually is to rank for the keyword. What Semrush does is they have a scale from 1 to 100 as far as difficulty goes. 1, you're actually trying to rank for that keyword. So 83 is going to be really difficult and really hard to rank for. You will need lots of high quality domains and optimized content. So this is going to be ultra hard to rank for if I'm being honest. But if you scroll down just a little bit to right here, if you find a green one, this means that it's easy. You will need quality content focused on the keyword's intent. All right. So what we're looking for when we're looking at this list is we want that sweet spot. We want low difficulty, high search volume, and real intent. All right, so here's exactly how you find that sweet spot. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go to keyword difficulty percentage. Okay, you just drop that down and it gives you the stats of all of it. So very hard. This is what it means. It will take a lot of on-page SEO, link building, and content promotion efforts, 85 to 100%. Then we have hard right here. You will need lots of high quality ref, domains, and optimized content, we go to difficult. You will need lots of ref, domains, and optimized content. Right here, we go to possible. You will need well-structured and unique content. If we go to easy, you can see you will need quality content focused on the keyword's intent. And then if we go to very easy, this is going to be your best chance of ranking on brand new pages. So if you're a brand new page, I would select very easy, or you can put a custom range. I would put anywhere from 1 to 30 if you do want to do it, because that'll put you in the range of very easy and easy. But if you're somebody just starting out and you don't have any authority, let's just go ahead and press easy and very easy for the sake of this video. Okay, so now if you go ahead and look right here on the chart, it says all of these are keyword difficulty, very easy, which is what we actually want, but we're not going to stop right there. What you need to do is you have to go to the questions tab. All right, so this is a list of question-based keywords that contain your seed keyword. Now you're probably wondering why questions? Because question-based keywords tend to have clear search intent, lower competition, and built-in content angles. What do I mean when I say built-in content angles? I mean that they're practically blog titles already made for you, because this is what people are searching up, and more than likely, if they're searching up that question, they're looking for a blog or an answer to their question, so they will be happy to read through your blog if that's what it's titled. For example, if your seed keyword is gut health, you might see things like how to fix your gut naturally, what are signs of poor gut health, and what foods help gut health. And one that I actually found on here with a keyword difficulty percent of very easy, and it's something that I would honestly look up, is Okio's 000 good for gut health. I mean, that's definitely something I would look up. I personally eat that yogurt. So that's what I mean. People are looking for answers to their questions and solutions to their problems. And if your keyword difficulty percentage isn't that hard or it's very easy, you have a high likelihood of ranking for that. I would say that if you're somebody who's just starting out, this is the perfect starting point for you. You can also combine multiple filters to get even better results. For example, we'll put keyword difficulty very easy. We'll put questions, and then we'll go ahead and put search volume at around 101 to 1000. As you can see, it narrowed it down really well. It's just one keyword question right here. Are capers good for gut health? So with just a few clicks, you narrowed it down to keywords that are easy to rank for and that people are actively searching for. So once you found a list of keywords that are easy to rank for, how do you choose the best ones? The first thing that you're going to want to look at is the search volume. This tells you how many times this keyword is searched per month. So this is searched 480 times per month, 140 times per month, 140 times per month. And if you also want to filter this as well, you can do that. If you just go to volume, you can go ahead and go to over 10,000. Okay. So obviously over 10,000 searches, it's not going to have anything pop up for easy. You want to also keep in mind that higher search volume isn't always better, because the higher search volume it has, the more difficult it'll be to rank for. So say something like 140 searches in the search volume, but low competition, it might get you traffic right now. While a 5,000 volume keyword might have more people searching for it, it will be more difficult to actually rank for, especially if you're in that beginner stage. All right, so let's talk about keyword difficulty. I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but to simplify it, Semrush ranks keywords from 0 to 100. The lower number it is, the easier it is to rank for. The higher number it is, the harder it's going to be to rank for if you are a beginner just starting out. So I would say aim for keywords under 30 if your site is fairly new. If your site has a little bit of authority, you can try to go to the 30 to 49, but that's still going to be more difficult to rank for, so just keep that in mind. All right, now let's talk about the cost per click. So even if you're not somebody who's running ads, you can see how valuable a keyword is depending on how much an advertiser is willing to spend on that keyword. So a higher CPC often means that this keyword has a higher commercial intent, and a commercial intent simply just means the user wants to investigate brands or services. So this is something that would be great if you're looking to actually advertise. And the last one's pretty obvious, but it's just having relevance. Make sure your keyword actually fits your niche and your audience. Just because it's easy to rank for doesn't mean that you should chase it if it doesn't attract the right people. So as you find good words, make sure that you're clicking the box right here to the left and adding them to a keyword list. This really helps you stay organized and build a database of keywords that you can potentially use later. Okay, also a cool part is if you don't want to save it inside Semrush, you can actually export it as a CSV file. So you could use the ones that you selected, or you could export all of the keywords. Probably going to be a lot, so I would just say pick the ones that you selected personally. But if you do want to save it inside Semrush itself, you'll just go ahead and select the keywords that you want. You'll press send keywords. You will put send to stage builder, and then you will press keyword strategy builder. After that, you'll press apply, and then you could go ahead and you could name the keywords once you're actually in there. So just create a new empty list. list. I'm going to go ahead and call this gut health keywords just to make it easier for me to find. And then I'm just going to go ahead and send them right over there. Okay, so in order to find that list, you can just go right under keyword magic tool to where it says keyword strategy builder. So yeah, you'll be able to go ahead and find it inside the keyword strategy builder. As you can see, this is a list of gut health keywords that I went ahead and saved personally. And like I said, from here, you can export it as well if that's something you want to do. If you want to go ahead and take it off Semrush, you can just make it a CSV file and export it so you have it for your own personal use. You can also remove low quality terms if that's something you want to do. If you do want to remove a keyword from here, you can go ahead and just press trash and then only selected, and that'll go ahead and delete it from this list. So you can go ahead and add more, or you could do a little bit more research on it. If you want to actually click into the actual keyword, you can go ahead and see all of the analytics and just scroll through it. All right, so now that you have a solid list of keywords, what do you actually do with them? Here's a simple process to turn them into content that actually gets views. Number one is going to be matching the format to intent. If someone searches how to fix gut health, they're looking for an educational blog or video. If they search something like best gut health supplements, that's a perfect commercial intent keyword, perfect for a product review or an affiliate post. So basically what I'm trying to say is just write the type of content that that keyword demands. Number two is using keywords in key places. You don't have to spam your keyword everywhere. Just put it naturally in places that it would fit in. So like the title, the first 100 words, at least one subheading, the meta description, or image alt tags if it's possible. Number three is add depth and uniqueness. Google's getting way smarter, so don't just write a shallow answer. Add personal insights, data, examples, or unique angles. That's how you outrank generic AI content. And then you just want to go ahead and link internally. As you go ahead and create more keyword related content, link between those related posts on your website. That helps Google crawl your site quicker and helps users stay on your site longer. Semrush's keyword magic tool doesn't just give you single keywords, it actually clusters them all up, and you can find that on the left-hand side. So for example, if your seed keyword is meal prep, you might see subtopics like meal prep for beginners, meal prep for weight loss, meal prep containers, or even meal prep recipes. These clusters make it super easy to plan out content hubs. And these are just multiple posts around the same theme. This really helps with SEO because it builds something called topical authority. And from a user perspective, it makes your site more useful and binge-worthy. Let's do a quick recap of the pros and cons to give you the full picture. All right, so here are some of the pros. They have a massive keyword database. It's really easy to filter, whether it be by difficulty or volume or question format. You get real-time keyword metrics. And lastly, it helps with SEO and content strategy. All right, and here are the cons. I would say that there's a slight learning curve at first. Also, obviously, the full version is paid after the free trial, and there might be so many options that it can feel overwhelming at first. But after a few sessions, using it the way we just covered starts to feel like second nature. If you're thinking about using Semrush, here's a quick breakdown of the actual pricing. So they have the Pro plan, which is the one that you get on the free trial, and you can do everything that I did in this video using this plan. It's $139.95 a month. I would say this option is the best overall option for individuals or small teams. And then you have the $249 a month plan. It's called the Guru plan, and it includes more historical data and more projects. And the business plan is $499. I would say this is better for agencies or really large teams. But yeah, this is everything included in each of the plans. In the Pro, you get up to 5 projects. In Guru, you get up to 15. And in Business, you get up to 40 projects. But yeah, this is everything that's included. Honestly, you really just need the Pro plan. It comes with 5 projects, keyword research tools, competitor analysis tools, position tracking, backlink analysis, and site audit. Yeah, and just because you don't have all of the other stuff right here, you can add add-ons onto your plan. So you can add an additional user for $45 a month. You can add lead generation for $90 a month, a base report for $10 a month, and a pro report for $20 a month. But yeah, you don't have to pay for it right off the bat. You can actually use the 14-day free trial. I went ahead and left that in the description before you guys actually decide to purchase it and if it's going to be helpful for you and your business. I would say the 14 days is the perfect time to build a content calendar, export your whole entire keyword list, and make serious SEO progress without having to spend a dime. It is an affiliate link, which means we earn earn a small commission if you do use it, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. These commissions help support the channel and allow us to keep making free content just like this. So if you do use it, we appreciate it and thank you so much. Before we wrap up, I know a lot of you guys still have questions about how all of this works. So let's take a second to talk about some of the most common ones that I get when it comes to finding low competition keywords on Semrush. What is considered a low competition keyword on Semrush? In Semrush, keyword difficulty or KD is scored from 1 to 100. Let me give you guys a general rule. 0 to 29 is ideal for newer websites and it's easier to rank for. 30 to 49 is moderate competition. It's still doable with a little bit of authority. 50 plus is high competition and usually dominated by the bigger players in the space. So if your site is new, focus on KD scores under 30. Those are the low competition keywords that give you the best chance of ranking as quickly as possible. How much search volume should you actually aim for? There's really no perfect number when it comes to this. It all depends on your niche and your goals. Keywords with 100 to 500 search volume per month can still drive some serious traffic, especially if they're long tail and easy to rank for. Anything above 1,000 monthly searches is great if it has low competition, but those are more rare to find. So don't overlook the small volume keywords. 10 pages ranking for 150 searches each can bring you more traffic than one post targeting 2,000 searches. Can I use this strategy even if I don't have a blog? Yes, low competition keyword research actually works for multiple different things like YouTube video topics, e-commerce product descriptions, landing page SEO, podcast episode titles, and even course content outlines. Any platforms where people use search engines to discover content can really benefit from keyword targeting. What makes question-based keywords so powerful? They tend to have clear intent, built-in angles, and lower competition. Clear intent means that they're asking for literal help or advice. Built-in angles means that they can actually be used for titles or headlines. And then lower competition is better for niche or how-to questions. They're also great for ranking in Google's featured snippets. Snippets are those answer boxes you see at the top of search results. Should I also choose keywords with the lowest difficulty score? Not necessarily. Some keywords are low difficulty because no one's searching for them. And that's why it's important to look at that combination of keyword difficulty, search volume, relevance to your niche, and commercial intent if you're promoting something or selling a product. I would say it's better to target a keyword with moderate difficulty and clear value than one with zero competition but zero traffic. How many keywords should I target per blog post or video? I would say focus on one primary keyword per piece of content. And you can also sprinkle in around 2 to 3 secondary keywords, especially if they're natural variations or they're part of the same cluster. Semrush's related keywords and phrase match makes it really easy to find these. But make sure not to stuff them, just use them where they make sense naturally. How often should you repeat the keyword in your content? There's really no fixed rule, but there is a rule of thumb. Include your primary keyword in all of these: the title, the URL, meta description, first paragraph, and 1 or 2 subheadings. Then use it a few more times naturally throughout the content. Google cares more about user experience and content quality. So just focus on being helpful at first. They care about this way more than how many times you use the keyword in your blog. So just focus on being helpful. Can I do all of this with a free Semrush account? The free Semrush account lets you run a few searches per day and get a taste for the tool, but you really can't do everything with just the free account. If you want full access to that keyword magic tool that we went over, unlimited filtering and keyword exporting, and the ability to build a keyword list and track those metrics, you'll definitely want to use that 14-day free pro trial link in the description. It gives you full access to everything you need to build a complete SEO and content strategy. How often should I update or refresh my keyword list? I would say you want to do this ideally once a month if you're posting regularly, after any major Google algorithm changes, and any time that you shift your content strategy. Semrush lets you refresh metrics inside your saved keywords list, all in just one click so that you can make sure that your data is accurate. Look, you don't need to be an SEO expert to get traffic. You just need the right tools and a solid system to get you there. And Semrush's keyword magic tool does a great job of doing that because you can actually see what people are searching for and you can sort out all of the junk. And with it, you can build content for keywords that you can actually rank for. So I would say if you're tired of guessing or you're not getting results, give this method a shot. Also, if you found this video helpful in any way, make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit those notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos. We post tutorials on building websites, exploring website builders, finding the right domain names, and a whole lot more. But with that said, thanks for watching. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next one.